Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's third and final video. Going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video date. Will take us to the 27th of May, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensembles right around a couple of weeks. Have a look at the CFS review at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us into a second week of June. And I'll get on for that for you in a moment. Just say that first video today was our 6M upload. And we've also released the ECM data 30 days / 6 weeks away. So check out that one if you'd like to do that. That's looking at weather in the XA range for the UK and for the rest of Europe as well. I hope you're having a lovely Tuesday. Please like, share, subscribe on video. Thank you so much everyone for doing this. And yeah, we'll crack on with the video then. So we're going to start off with a radar picture from Weather Outlook today. We've got very heavy rain gathering just to the southwest approaches, just beginning to move into the far southwest of England and begin to push up the Irish Sea with a few fingers of rain as well. The latest UKV forecast shows that this rain is going to turn very, very heavy in the west through the course of this afternoon. About 3 o'clock this afternoon, and it's going to be absolutely pouring with rain through Northern Ireland, through the Irish Sea into Wales and southwestern parts of England. And then this heavy rain will carry on pushing northwards and eastward, bringing very wet weather at the west side of the country. The rain will turn more showery as it pushes eastwards, but some of these showers could be quite heavy. As they move through the Midlands, there may even be one or two thunderstorms being triggered through there. And then on into the eastern part of England, again those showers will rumble on into the evening. Could be some big downpours there. Meanwhile, Scotland and north-eastern England will have more general outbreaks of heavy and potentially rather thundery rain. Goes drier by the end of the evening, and then through the night most places will be drying out. Tomorrow will be a dry day until late on, when more heavy showers and potentially thunderstorms again start to arrive through the course of Wednesday evening. It's going to be very warm out there through the course of this afternoon, so temperatures are already into the low 20s quite widely across much of the country. We've got 21 degrees at Cranfield. These are the latest temperature observations from XC Weather. 21 degrees at Cranfield. Bean Hill is at 21. Headcorn Aerodrome is at 22. Southampton is at 20 degrees. Leeds is at 20 degrees as well. And up into the east of England, Donanook is at 20 degrees also. Sainsbury's over in Wales is at 18 degrees. Cardigan in southwest England is at 16 degrees. And then further northwards, we've got Teesside at 18 degrees in Scotland. Edinburgh at 30 degrees, quite a lot cooler up there. Aban is at 15 degrees. And Belfast is at 16. So it's a little bit cooler in the far north and northwest, but a warm day in the south-southeast. Very warm this afternoon. Temperatures going into mid-20s Celsius, possibly through parts of East Anglia, southeastern and eastern England. That's into the upper 70s Fahrenheit. So I'm going to increase CT further. The central temperature is currently standing at 13.3, which is 2.5 degrees, 2.6 degrees above average. That's provisional to yesterday, to the 16th of May. That's going to go up again today. So we're not all that far off mid-13s now, the central temperature. So yeah, very, very warm May indeed. And we'll see, of course, where that finishes up by the time we get through to the end of the month. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. The next couple of weeks on London today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. We're starting off significantly above average with the upper air temperature at the moment. They are going to lower a little bit as we get through to the end of the week and the weekend, but not for long. They're lifting up again as we go through the final week of May now. So we did think for a while that the last week of May might be cooler, but actually it's beginning to look as though the final week of May could be turning quite warm again, and that would really seal us into a very warm month, I think. Very warm May indeed. And we get to the end of, the beginning of June, at the end of the ensemble graph, this period just here, and still looking mostly above average even then. So yeah, look at that, and you have to say that it does appear that the next couple of weeks will be largely above average, except for a few cooler interludes, in the earlier period, but largely above average really for the next couple of weeks. The ongoing warm spell that we've been in for several months now actually looks set to continue probably into the beginning of June. Precipitation wise, there's going to be rainfall around So, yes, there will be further showers, if not long as well as rain, could be thunder mixing. Not continuously wet, there will be drier periods as well. So, drier and wet periods alternating, but overall, perhaps rather on the showery side. Temperature anomalies from the 17th to 25th of May going to be above average in most parts of northern and western Europe. Precipitation anomalies from the 17th to 25th of May, wetter than average to the northwest, maybe a little bit to the far southeast, and then drier through parts of northern Wales and southwestern England. A lot of variation going on within those anomalies though today. Latest wind from that from earthnautical.net shows that we're drawing the air up from a southerly direction today with deep low pressure in the Atlantic Ocean. So we've got a ridge to our east, there's high pressure sitting to the east of the country, and then with a deep area of low pressure out in the Atlantic, combined the two, and we're drawing up wind from quite a long way south, and so that explains why the temperatures are so warm today. Right, let's start going through the chart data. We'll start off with the UK Met Euro for midnight on Friday. So at this point, we've got a little bit of a transient ridge in the south. That will be pushed aside though as we go through the weekend. As this trough of low pressure comes in from off the Atlantic, that will bring showers or longer spells of rain, and cooler air will start to move in from the North Atlantic as well. So just turn a little bit cooler over the weekend. Into the early part of next week, looking rather cool with UK Met Euro winds in from a northwesterly direction, and still trough of low pressure not that far from the country, so rather showery. Icon is looking like this at midnight on Friday. Again, there's a slight little transient bump there, but that gets pushed out of the way as the showery trough moves in from the west. That will bring showery rain, particularly to the northern half of the country, and somewhat cooler temperatures as well. Through to the early part of next week, low pressure develops out to our west. That could bring some rather unsettled weather into Ireland, England and Wales. Scotland may be a little bit drier though. And that's how it looks as we get to the end of the Icon run, which today gets to midnight on 24th of May. Ridge of high pressure out to the northwest with low pressure through France and into parts of Spain. So rather unsettled there, but higher pressure further north. GFS midnight run, again, looks like that. A slight little reach there into the south midnight on Friday, but again, that gets pushed aside by lower pressure coming in from off the Atlantic. So as we go through the weekend, there will be further showery weather, and that lasting into the early part of next week as well. Rather showery through the early part of next week until higher pressure begins to build around or just after daytime. Getting towards month's end, we go into a much drier and warmer spell with high pressure sitting to our east. Low pressure is out to west, and we're drawing up wind from a southerly to southeasterly direction. That's bringing very warm air in from off the continent, by the way, so it does turn very warm for a time towards the end of May. And then, as we get into the beginning of June, we go into this rather flatter westerly type pattern with further shower rain likely to the north and the west, but still probably quite dry down in the far south and southeast. But GFS 6Z, again, looking rather showery as we go through the end of the week and into the weekend. Low pressure never too far away. Winds always coming from like a southerly southwesterly direction, so it remains relatively mild, if not quite warm, to be honest, I think, as we go through the next week or so. And then around day 10, just beyond it, high pressure begins to develop more strongly through the country, actually, and starts to reach in towards northern parts of Europe. So the GFS 6 there then sets up this very warm to hot pattern for the very end of May, with high pressure over to the east of the country and pulling in those winds from a really warm or hot southerly southeast direction. That's 30 May. We're a long way out now with 324 hours. But you see high pressure is dominating to our east and north, lower pressure to our west-southwest winds coming in from this southerly southeast direction. It'll be very, very warm to hot, 15 Celsius iceberg there, moving up from France into southern England, 20 Celsius iceberg entrenched into central southern parts of France. You'll notice already only 30th of May. So imagine how far north this plus 20 Celsius iceberg might get by July or August in this sort of pattern. Very unusual to see the plus 20 Celsius iceberg across France in May, of course, it goes without saying. Just go rather volatile by the look of it by the end of the month, so low pressure is developing around northern France. That might threaten some thunderstorms, but fundamentally we're still bringing in this very warm to hot southerly southeasterly with the GFS 6Z run. That's how it looks at the end of the GFS 6Z. Gets us to Thursday, 2nd of June. overall high pressure is still sitting there to our northeast, and we're under a fungy trough then. Probably bringing heavy thunderstorms to much of England, Wales, but temperatures would still be really warm. If you enjoyed the video, please do smash the like button, make sure you sub to the channel. Thank you so much for doing that, and drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Thank you so much to all of you for doing this. Right, moving on to GM, and once more we're looking a little bit showery to the north and west on Friday. This ridge is being moved away to our east. It's only transient anyway. We're into a flat sort of westerly type flow by midnight on Saturday, and be a rather cooler flow as well. Into the open of next week, high pressure and re-establishes across the country as we move up towards day 10. We've got low pressure out to west, high pressure to our east, and we're still bringing up wind from a warm southerly southeasterly direction. It looks as though this area of low pressure is going to try start moving in off the Atlantic by around day 10. And then the ECM looks like that. So again, we're going to find that weather goes rather showery and a little bit cooler over the weekend, with more of a west to northwesterly wind. That lasts into the early part of next week, with winds coming in from that rather cooler northwesterly direction. And then for the second half of next week, high pressure re-establishing, reforming, so that by day 10, Friday 27th of May, we're back under a large ridge of high pressure. And obviously with the strong May sunshine, that will start to turn the weather rapidly warmer as we move up towards month's end. So maybe we're going to end May and begin June on a rather hot note. We'll have to wait and see. This is how the precipitation forecast is looking based on that ECM run from tometeo.com. So very wet across the northern half of the country. Of course, this afternoon this evening will be a little bit drier over south. Into tomorrow, it's going to be dry for most of the day, but by the end of Wednesday into Thursday, heavy showers and thunderstorms perhaps coming back in from the west and south once more. But a showery rain then coming and going as we go into the end of the week and into the weekend as well. And then, of course, as the high pressure starts to re-establish and rebuild and reform, next week we turn drier. So by day 10, most of the areas, nearly all areas of the country, are looking mainly dry. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles day for day 10, which gets us to the 27th of May from the Icelandic Met Office. We've got 21 members of the ECM ensembles, including the control and the operational run, with high pressure raising up from the southwest. Low pressure is being pushed away northward. Jet stream is going northwards as well, so high pressure reforming there. 19 have high pressure even more strongly through the country to the west, so that could be turning mainly dry. And then 18 again with a ridge of high pressure from the south and going north. Looks like most of the options are favouring a return of high pressure there by day 10, turning us into, or taking us into a drier and warmer period. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 1st of June, so first day of June and first day of meteorological summer 2022. Looking like this with the options. So 20 members of the ECM ensembles have that high pressure just to our west and northwest. Probably pulling in a cooler sort of northeast wind, but probably still mainly dry. With that option. Then 16 have low pressure right over the top of the country, top of below average heights. That will bring an unsettled, showery, quite wet and cool start to June. And then 15 have the high pressure in the middle of the Atlantic, so mid-Atlantic ridge with a trough of low pressure to our east, and winds will be coming in from a cool northerly direction. Most unsettled weather with that will be for eastern areas where it will be really quite showery. So, May turn drier and warmer through the closing days of May, but by the beginning of June, perhaps we'll be into something cooler and more unsettled. It remains to be seen. Finally, with CFS2, these are 500 millibar high southerlies breaking down to week periods. The first week period takes us from the 17th to the 23rd of May. The coming week will have above average heights extending from the south and going north. Lower pressure will be out to west, lots of dry and pretty warm weather with that. Hot for a time, winds up from the south. Of course, that low pressure in the Atlantic will provide the energy for some heavy showers and thunderstorms. Now, week 2, which is going to be the 24th to the 30th of May, that's the high pressure in over top of the country. So now, the last week of May, looking relatively dry and potentially quite warm under that area of high pressure. Week 3 is going to be the 31st of May to 6th of June. Still high pressure dominating. Goes a little bit more towards the northwest, but fundamentally that's still anticyclonic, mainly dry and probably quite warm under that area of high pressure too through the first week of June. And week 4, not much change really. This is the 7th to the 13th of June. High pressure goes a little bit further northwards to become centred around Iceland, so almost threatening to become a northern blocking feature. Probably bringing in something a little bit cooler from the northeast with that. But again, it is anticyclonic, it's still high pressure dominated. So a lot of dry weather there into the second week of June, up to week 4. That is quite a big change from the CFS of what it's been showing over recent days for weeks 3 and 4. Recently, it has been tending to turn cooler and more unsettled for weeks 3 and 4. So, it might just be a one-off, but we'll have to wait and see. It would, of course, be in line with where we've had those past few months, which has been very much towards higher pressure and mainly warm and dry conditions. So we'll wait and see what happens as we get to June, but it's possible we might have like a very warm end to May anyway. That might extend into the beginning of June. We'll just have to wait and see. Right, so if you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what about this and all of our videos, and don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids too. If everyone who subscribes brings a friend, we're going to get to our target of 14,000 subscribers, our next mini target of 13,400 subscribers, 13.4k. We'll get to those targets so much more quickly if everybody who subscribes brings a friend. So don't forget to tell your friends and family to subscribe, and thank you so much everyone for doing that. Right, so we're done with today's videos then. So tomorrow we're going to have the 6 AM upload. We'll have a 10 to 14 day as well. We might update Stormwatch as well for tomorrow. We'll see about that. But yeah, keep turning back to the channel for more. And for this one though, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.